Hey, good morning, prosperity people. Just want to connect with you today in the shower. It was put in my spirit to, let's just say, be a little more open. And let's use the word transparency. It's a Tuesday, so let's put a name and label it Transparency Tuesday. With that being said, just pray one to make sure that my words are articulated in a way that it'll be helpful to many, uh, in a way that you can maybe take a look where I came from to see potentially where you can go. What I do, how I do it, the reasons that motivate it is for the purposes of helping and elevating others. So I'm going to follow what was put in my spirit to do. Uh, a lot of people know me because of my network. I have a diversity of network for many, many different reasons. Um, some people know me because of my fitness affiliations. Some people know me related to timeshare. Some know me because of my legal associations. Uh, there's a lot of different things I've been involved in different levels and different times in life. And so I have a network that spans across the country for just that reason. Um, but going backwards to come forward, for those who don't know, um, I believe and totally support for what was put in my spirit that just totally makes sense is that you should work more on yourself than on a job. To become more, have more, but there are some pitfalls in that process. And there were some mistakes, that were made along the way. That being said, um, years ago, in the evolution of things, that one of the first mistakes that I made came from wanting to please someone that I was absolutely crazy about, which was my grandfather. I wanted to take what he had built, use the grooming, the associations, the connections that he made sure that I had to move his contribution to a higher level. However, like many people, uh, they will say that, but they can't let it go because in them letting it go, it releases too much of themselves and they have nothing to live for. And that was his circumstance. He tried to quit, he couldn't do it. Even into age 90, he pursued it. One of the things I saw, though, is my grandfather, he was a hustler. Um, and he met my grandmother. My grandmother said, if you're going to be with me, there's some stuff that you're going to have to let go. She bought him a lawnmower, and he took the lawnmower and he grew it into a business that lasted over 50 years, that afforded me, my sister, my brother, some opportunities that most would love to have had. Some hated us for having. Wasn't rich, but I can literally say there wasn't anything that I did without. And for what I asked for, I can't think of anything I didn't get. Um, But I saw what it took. I saw the perseverance. I saw the the consistency in his efforts. I saw the persistency regardless the circumstances. Um, it was a lot that I saw that gave me the ability to want to move and have and to dream. Because I saw from someone who came from humble beginnings, who said he wanted more and he wanted to give more, had a heart that was above understanding. I saw him give to people who I knew hated him, and I couldn't understand it. And I thought it was an element of weakness. One of my first mistakes. I saw that in serving and giving ultimately wins people. You may not see it immediately, but over time, they saw his heart. They saw his genuineness. They saw when nobody else was there, he was there. And for someone who I heard the things that they said about him, I watched, you know, how certain things were completely disrespectful and hit every nerve that was inside of me. Even one day, never forget it. Uh, we had stopped because he had a contracting business and cutting lawns, and wherever he went, I was known as a shadow. If he was there, I was there. Wouldn't matter whether it was in blazing heat or extreme colds. Wouldn't make a difference. But one of these individuals, who I just referenced to, we were in a restaurant. I had just went and got a sandwich, well, multiple sandwiches, French fries, huge vanilla shake, and his worker, who I really didn't like because of how I knew he felt about him, so that tainted my thoughts about him, and he hated me because I was a reflection of things that wasn't in his life, certain accesses. I was in the middle of enjoying my food. He was in the middle of staring at my food. My grandfather caught the aura of it and he said, "Give him one of your sandwiches." Now, because of how this came together, it hurt me to think that I'm going to patronize and personally want to empower someone who I knew meant him no good. But he insisted. He said, "Give it to him." He said, "You know you can get whatever you want. At the end of the day, you're going to have a steak, a salad, and anything else that you want to eat. At the end of his day, it's not going to be that way. Give him the sandwich. Go get another one." It was hard at the time. It was really nothing I was losing because, you know, I knew by the time I was out there, you know, I was still going to get whatever I wanted anyway. But my spirit was jacked up, um, because I didn't see what was really important at the time. You know, what he was trying to be able to show me is it was bigger than the moment. It was about giving. It was about serving. It was about being humble. It wasn't about what he could do for me. It wasn't about what he could do for my grandfather. He did from the heart. The genuineness of that is what inspired people that knew him. It was his relentless giving and knowing that they could not do for him at the level that he was able to do for them. even if in his doing they promised even to provide a return back for what he was doing for them in agreement. He knew that it wasn't going to happen, but he did it anyway because it was just who he was. It took a while for me to come to the understanding of where and what that meant. It took some movement in time for me to really get really what he was showing me and the importance of that in life. Agape love is based on the love that Jesus gives to us, because in doing so, it's loving him, it's doing the right thing, it's not based on conditions or circumstances, and it's based on loving without the expectation of return. There are many times I thought that I was doing some things for the right reason, but there were selfish motives laced in between that. It was based in, yeah, I was doing this, and it was good that I was doing it, but in the background of it, I was doing it in the belief that if I do this, they'll do that. Just kind of process that for a moment. Maybe you can remember a time you were doing the right thing, but there was selfish motive that was built into it. And because there was selfish motive that was built into it, you found frustration, there was confrontation, because there was expectations that someone else may not even have the ability to even meet. Even with, for me, it was a circumstance with someone that was in my life. I'm very detail oriented, and for things that matter to me, I'm a sponge when it comes to the things I choose to learn, and even things about people. However, I was dealing with an entity that I gave them a GPS. I gave them, the North Star. I gave them a turn by turn with voice. I put breadcrumbs down on the road. I gave and wrote down every turn that they needed to make, and gave them associations on the road to help them along the way. They still got lost. They couldn't pull it off. And I'm not saying that from the means of actual travel. I'm just saying that from a relationship standpoint, they were not able to mirror my level of loving in a certain way. And me putting pressure on them to meet to that expectation, and thinking that, one, it should come from your heart. Two, if I'm telling you how, to do this, it should be easy. Well, let me tell you, it's not for everybody. There are certain things which are in people that some will fall below your expectations for, just as much as there are those who will exceed yours. But you have to meet people where they are. And that was a mistake for me, because I have aspirations of wanting things to be better, and I have the thoughts of grandeur in the things and the ways that I want to live life. And everyone isn't impassioned the way that I am. And it was a little bit to be able to come to that understanding, but I'll leave this here to share for this moment. I'll share more next Tuesday, but in releasing that pressure from that individual and not having the expectation for them to meet the level of what is not how they are groomed, not it's not natural for them, and to try to force something, even if though it was for the right reasons, it was wrong. And it made things uncomfortable for them. It made things uncomfortable for me. And it took away from elements to be able to grow and, most importantly, to enjoy each other. I shared a few different things, but these things in different parts of the mistakes that I made all work toward the leadership that I'm able to give to others now. Um, there are things that you go through, you don't understand the importance of as it's happening. It may not feel good as you're looking at it, may not sound really comfortable as you were hearing it. And the feel good is, may be pretty awful. Um, but in those moments, as time moves forward, there's a lot of value if you reflect on it. And I made a decision some time ago to aspire to be better. And there are different areas of my life I tried to focus on for years to raise the bar on myself to be able to be better for me, to be able to help others to be better for themselves. And I hold myself accountable to that. And so today was just a matter of being obedient and following what was in my spirit. And we'll add to this, and I also will bring other people into this. And from this, we'll grow together and constantly. And every day, I seek to be a part of your success story.